I'm just gonna. This is a follow up from the live that I did the other day when I was talking about the MCC and how President Bio is going to sabotage the opportunities that Sierra Leoneans have with his reckless actions. You know, when you look at the violations of the constitution, the human rights violations, you know, the lack of free speech and all of these stuff that is currently going on. Michael Mansare was locked up because he said President Kurobana built the stadium, you know, in Bo City. He was locked up. Then top up charges against them. How they go put fake medicines in waiting. You know, these are all things, you know, we are talking about. And that is why I call on Sierra Leoneans to say, guys, you have to stand up and speak, you know, to save our democracy. Every one of us have a moral responsibility. So I want to thank you all for joining me. This live is not going to be long. I'm just going to present to you. You see, guys, this is what we have to do as Sierra Leoneans. You see, there's no monopoly over knowledge, right? I can take from people in perspective where they listen from other people, everything they say. I take their perspectives, you know, from various, you know, angles, because everybody comes from a different angle. Life is all about perspective, right? The reality is there, and it's also the perspective. Because if the reality is you're doing terrible things, you're killing people because they protest for a generator, then that is the reality. And the perspective has to be the fact that we all have to stand up to speak up about these violations of human rights. And those are war crimes, you know? So those are some of the things. And that is why if you guys, for some of you guys that are not on Twitter, when I'm done with this live, when I'm done with this presentation, I'll show you guys how you handle Twitter. Because the problem that we have in Sierra Leone is because we allowed these SLPP idiots, especially these ones in power, to dominate the narrative, especially when it comes to social media at the international level. And you allow them to dominate the narrative. That is what they see, and what the international community see is what they act on. Thank God for the European Union. But I'm going to talk about the MCC, guys. I'm going to go back from the live that I did the other day, where I spoke about the fact that, you know, these guys are nothing but crooks and criminals and thieves. You know, and President Bio is going to sabotage the possibilities because Sierra Leone is compact eligible at this point. But with all of this reckless action on his part, we can lose with compact eligibility. And that is why we have to save, because who's going to suffer? It is the ordinary man and the woman. Them picking them. We don't get access to health care, right? Them belly woman, they will not get access to preventative care. You know, so woman they get belly, so woman they go hospital because they don't get money for go hospital. But stay by God in power and the bond. Now they get for suffer if President Bio continue for sabotage the efforts of Sierra Leoneans them for no way to forget money from the MCC. So this live is a follow-up from that because there is this powerful letter, and I want you guys to use this as an opportunity to learn. So just in case you want to write a letter to the MCC, you want to write a letter to Congress, let this be like your template as an example of what you're going to see. And, you know, you might not be as detailed and thorough as they did, but I'm going to share this with you so you guys can see from a concerned civil society organization. Because, again, I'm not saying based on what I said is why they acted the way they did. But if anything, these people are patriotic citizens. And, guys, it is clear in the Constitution. Section 13 make them very clear. All the reasons they give you ATJ, why you for being loyal to the state. That's the most important thing. Your loyalty lies to the state. Not to your political party, excuse me. Not to your political party, not to your tribes. And that is the lesson, and that is what we're trying to teach these guys. So I want to appreciate you guys. Share the live. I'm going to read this letter with you guys. Like I said, this live is not going to be too long. I have something I need to do. But I'm going to share this letter with you guys so everybody can see this letter and we can all read them together. Let us do this. And I'm going to start with this letter and I ask for order. All right. Guys, so this is the first one. This is page 1. This is page 1. So for everybody to see, the Association for Social Justice, this is a civil society organization. They wrote this letter to the MCC. So we're going to read it together, guys. I'm going to read every word of this letter. Pay attention, everybody. I want you to listen attentively. And I'm going to make sure we have it in a way where all of you guys could take a snapshot of it. This letter is directed to the chairman, board of directors. All right. So the chairman, board of directors, Millennium Challenge Corporation, 1099 14th Street Northwest, Suite 700, Washington, D.C. Zip code is 2005-3550, USA. Dear sir, the Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC 2022 country scorecard on Sierra Leone. Again, remember, guys, I gave you guys a backdrop from the last live that I did. I said Maada Bio and the SLPP guys, the administration of the SLPP, they are sabotaging the efforts that Sierra Leoneans are making towards receiving the compact eligibility that we already have. But by their actions, the MCC can go back retrospectively. I showed you guys that. say they could take back this compact from us because of the recklessness of President Bio and the SLPP, with all of the violations of the Constitution. It is a constitutional crisis, and America's security, is a threat. Because when all of these things are happening, they don't say anything can happen in that country at any time because of the abuse of the Constitution. And they don't say people like Maada Bio don't go ahead and participate in 2 coups in Sierra Leone. Why? Because he said it would rather betray one person when a stressor than sit down and betray the country. So the military can look at something like this and say, you know what? We're not going to tolerate this kind of bastardization of our constitution. Let us stand up and take action. So that is why this letter is very timely, coming from our sister there, to save our democracy, to save Sierra Leone and the vulnerable people that are going to suffer if we don't receive the compact from the MCC. This is the Baku money we talk about. There's a lot of money at stake. So I'm going to start reading the letter now. On behalf of my organization and my Sierra Leonean compatriots, I wish to write on the above subject matter. I also wish to take this moment to commend you and indeed the entire citizens of the United States for your desire to ensure that developing and poor nations like ours enjoy economic growth and prosperity. In that regard, we are particularly immensely grateful for the assistance you have given to Sierra Leone over the years. Clearly, Sierra Leone is still a fragile economy, devastated by years of bad governance over the decade-long civil war, debilitating epidemics, among other vicissitudes of nature. We are therefore a nation that is yearning for huge capital investments in areas such as reliable electricity supply, good health facilities, clean water system, durable road network, and other infrastructure that would enhance our national development. As such, we are excited about the fact that your government, the people are willing to help us meet those needs. If only our governments can guarantee respect for democracy and good governance. Those are conditions that are not insurmountable for any responsible government that is genuinely concerned about the welfare of its people and seeks to leave behind a good and lasting legacy. We are aware that you rely on independent third-party sources for your information to ascertain whether a government is meeting your expectations. Unfortunately, however, I dare say your so-called independent sources have to a great extent failed you. They have failed to inform you that what we have in Sierra Leone today is an authoritarian regime that has since taken over the reins of governance in April 2018, had a stifling grip on all our democratic institutions. So guys, this is just page 1. So if anybody want to take a screenshot, then you go zoom them in and read them at your quiet time. But this is page 1. I'm about to switch to page 2. But this is the kind of, advocacy that we are seeking, because this organization knows that they have to stand up to protect our democracy, which is what they're doing. And that's why this is laudable. So again, I'm about to move to the next page. So take a screenshot of this and I'm moving on to the next page.